Good morning. It's the 11th of February 2013. My name is Amanda Ellis. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a colour therapist, and I also work with the energy of Archangel Metatron, which I really channel through my writing, through work like this on videos, and through consultations and counselling work. Those of you that know of me and have followed my work for a while know I often talk about the number 11 as being very much linked into Metatron's energy and linked into the dark and the light, very much symbolic of what we need to maybe work through, wade through in our own lives to sort of get to the lighter, brighter stuff. So it's the dark and the light. And I just thought today, being the 11th, would be a good day to reconnect with you again, because I haven't done a video like this for a little while, so I thought I'd do one today. And it struck me that I wanted to talk today about feelings and about emotions and how to handle them, as well as maybe share a little bit about what I sense is going on out there at the moment. That I've obviously picked up from myself, but also other people that I come into contact with and deal with. And as I was thinking about making this video, just happened to turn the radio on, and there was a beautiful song on the radio. Radio 2 is actually doing a day where they've got live broadcast of people doing the Beatles songs, and I'm not very familiar with a lot of the Beatles records, but there was one, I think it's called A Place to Go, and it was being sung by a lady, can't remember her name now, but it was absolutely stunning, and the words to the chorus were these. I've actually written them down, I thought they were beautiful, and they just sort of start off the flow of energy of what I want to talk about today. And the words were, there is a place where I can go when I feel low, when I feel blue, and it's in my mind, and there's no time when I'm alone. And those words, I think, are really beautiful, and they really struck me, because I'm sort of sensing that since the start of this year, the emotions have been quite up and down. I've definitely been feeling that myself. And more than ever, I'm really linking into the fact that the phases of the moon that we have at the moment are really heightening things for people. And I was sensing that in my own inner life. But it's really just been confirmed again this morning by somebody who I've just seen, a client for a session, and she said exactly the same thing as I was experiencing over the weekend. And in a nutshell, she was really talking about the fact that leading up to the weekend had been quite difficult, Saturday had been difficult, and then all of a sudden, this is somebody who's quite a go-getter as well, all of a sudden on Sunday the energy just seemed to lift, and all of a sudden she felt sort of back to being herself again and able just to go out and do all the things that she needed to do. And I definitely got a sense of that this weekend as well. I keep saying to people that sometimes it's feeling a little bit as though we're being put on pause or hold at the moment. I do feel that we're in a holding phase at the moment, in preparation for what is to come, and obviously the cycles of nature sort of support us with that. We've got spring coming up in the UK, and everybody's really ready for it as well. I think this year it's been a long winter in the UK. And again, you know, all over the world seems to be extremes of temperature. New York at the moment being hit by very heavy snowfall. Still a lot of people experience extremes of temperature, whether it's flooding, fire, snow, gales. You know, it's been a hard few months for a lot of people. So what tends to happen is that our emotions sort of reflect the chaos that's going on out there, maybe in the wider world that the weather patterns are sort of showing us. And I just think it's important that we honour whatever it is that we feel at any one time. And the thing about honouring how we feel is actually being honest about all parts of who we are. The side of ourselves that is acceptable to society and the side that maybe isn't. And it strikes me that the side that often isn't acceptable to society is the side when we do feel down and we do feel low. And as I said, as those lyrics really say, there is a place where I can go when I feel low, when I feel blue, and it's in my mind, and there's no time when I'm alone. And I think the thing with those lyrics is it strikes me that when we are feeling down or not on top form, it can be quite an isolating experience. And it tends to be that people do sort of keep themselves hidden to a degree. And sadness, depression, whatever you want to call it, low mood, is something that sort of isn't talked about because it's not deemed to be socially acceptable. We're all supposed to sort of have our painted smile on ourselves the whole time. And I was thinking about this morning, and it really came to me, and I felt like what Metatron was saying is reminding us that in our society at present, we are just so far removed from the land and from the earth and from the natural rhythms of nature. And if you look back over time, all the indigenous cultures, and obviously there are still indigenous cultures out there, the Aborigines, for example, who still do follow the flow of the land and the flow of nature, they're much more in tune, not just with nature and the land, but with the whole emotional landscape. And you often look to indigenous cultures and they have many more celebrations as well as downtimes to celebrate all the different parts of life that we have. And it really just strikes me at the moment that in society we don't have enough pauses and places to rest from time to time when we've gone through maybe big challenging events. And these are events that all of us have to go through in our life. And it may be things like death that we have to deal with, death of people that we love, and you're just supposed to sort of get on with it. And maybe you're allowed a few days to grieve, and people send you flowers or sort of messages of support. And then after a few weeks, there's just that sort of feeling that you're supposed to sort of get on with it. And that's very much a UK attitude, but I think it's probably wider than the UK as well. But the UK is particularly bad for it, the whole stiff upper lip. But not just the big things like death. It can be certainly within my own life. I'm just noticing more and more that if you have a family, there are many different, almost like rites of passage that you go through. And if you're sensitive, you're not really allowed necessarily by society the space and the time to honour some of these rites of passage that you go through. And that can be things like, obviously having the baby going into nursery, being separated from the parent. It can be children starting school. It can be children growing up into puberty, taking it away from children. It can be I suppose thinking about it from a female perspective, it's all the rites of passage that we have as women. It is the onset of puberty, it's birth. I'm 45 now, 46 this year, so not quite menopausal, but that's coming up on the horizon probably over the next 5 years. Again, another big rite of passage. We have retirement. There's lots of things that we all experience. It's part of the human condition. But I just think our society is really bad at honouring different phases in our life. And there are phases when we actually need time to really just sort of take a step back and integrate the new phase that we find ourselves in. So I hope I'm making sense, but I'm just really getting that it's important, because we don't have it in our society at the moment, to make the time ourselves when we can. And I know a lot of us are struggling with holding down day jobs, very demanding lifestyles. But I think that makes it even more important that when we've gone through something or are going through something, which is one of these big life stages, one of these transition periods, let's call it that. And it can also be something that's obviously forced on us, like redundancy. It doesn't have to be something that's linked into our biology or part of the family growth cycle. But that we honour it and that we give ourselves space. And I think a lot of the low mood that is out there is a reflection of the fact that we're not doing this enough, and that we're not respecting and honouring that enough. And the whole thing about the need for that becoming more and more apparent. And I think these cycles of the moon that we have going on at the moment, I'm not an astrologer, but I'm very interested in astrology, and I read a lot of astrological blogs just to sort of try to keep myself a little bit up to date with it. But what I'm getting from what astrologers are saying is that these moon phases are becoming more and more intense. And so therefore, we are, the moon, it very much governs water. It governs the tides. It's the thing that makes tides go in and out. And don't forget that we are, I don't know what the actual statistic is, but we're about 60–70% water. That's what we're made up of. And so therefore the moon, when it's either waxing or waning, getting bigger or smaller, it actually affects our emotional body. It affects our emotions. And I think post 2012, the 21st of December date, the energies have just really changed and really shifted, and we're in totally uncharted territory, and we really need to learn how to ride these new waves of emotion. And I think most of us are still learning the ropes. I feel as though I still am, but I just wanted to share today that that is sort of how I'm feeling, but also I'm sensing other people are feeling it as well. Because I think the worst thing that we can do is just go back to our old way of being, which is like, I'm okay, I'm okay, and that's the answer for everything. In Great Britain, if you've got an arm dropping off and somebody says to you, "Are you okay?" you'll say yes, and it's really, really dysfunctional and really, really unhealthy. And I just don't think we can do that anymore. So the more that we can share how we genuinely feel and where we're at, I think more for the better. And also the thing about support groups being quite important at the moment as well. Being with people that you resonate with, that are of the same vibration as you, that's really important as well. So I wanted to spray one of the beautiful Colour Mirrors essences, and I was wondering which was the one that we needed today to help us. I've often said that colour is a subconscious language that we all use whether we know it or not. And I didn't even know I was going to make this video today, but obviously we're talking about low mood in particular, and I've actually stuck on this, it's quite a new shirt actually, but it's violet, and it's quite funny actually. Now I'm looking at it because I can see myself on the computer. Violet is a colour that sometimes is linked into people feeling a little bit down, and obviously it's also the colour of spirit. It's the colour that connects us to the spiritual world. And the need for that, when we are feeling down, to just sort of get some steerage, to reconnect back into that still silent place within us and into our heart, just to where all the answers do lie actually, and whatever else is going on in wider society. Because I do believe a lot of the emotion and the feeling that's out there at the moment is we're picking up on a lot of collective stuff as well. I really, really believe that. Sorry, I'm swallowing a lot because I've got a bit of a sore throat, so it's not that I'm feeling terribly emotional talking to you. It's just the fact I've got a sore throat. And again, lots of people have got illnesses and stuff at the moment as well, which is also weighing people down a little bit. So yes, wearing lilac, and the colour that really helps to lift feelings of sadness or just feelings of not feeling on top form are the yellows and the golds. So I'd like to spray this one, which is Gold Angel. And you can see that actually twinkling, I think, can't you, in the picture here. And I would really encourage you to get out in natural daylight and sunlight as much as possible. But in a way, this is almost like sunlight in a bottle. So I'm going to actually spray this, and I just would like you to just connect into the energy of the gold. And you will be able to sense this over the video, because I've had a lot of feedback from people on these videos that this is what is happening, and that's my understanding of it. So just get yourself into a place, get your feet on the ground, get yourself comfortable if you're not comfortable, and let's just spray this beautiful Gold Angel essence. I'm going to spray it around me. I'm going to ask the energy of that, which I can feel straight away, just coming through this medium or video to you. I'd just like you to get a sense of what it is that you may be feeling as that energy of gold comes through. And it might help you to close your eyes if you want to close your eyes. But I'd like you just to imagine a beautiful golden energy coming right around you. And as it starts to permeate around your body, just feel the strength. More than anything, I'm feeling the strength and the protection that this gold light is giving you at this time. Almost as though you're being encased in a beautiful golden light that you can breathe through. It's transparent. More light can be accessed through it. but it's very solid and very strong. And just then taking that gold light all the way down into your body and sensing golden light right down into the solar plexus, into the centre of your being, your stomach area, and really just feeling that golden light within you starting to get stronger and stronger. Almost as though there's a depleted battery in there at the moment, because I think a lot of us are depleted. So filling up that depleted centre of your being with golden light. And just sensing as that depletion starts to become expanded and full. I always view it almost a bit like a percentage meter. So going up from 50% to 75%. Golden light, sparkling, iridescent, 100% now. And then just really feeling it starting to flow over. And so it starts to now travel up anywhere it needs to in your body. Over the shoulders, up through the spine, right down into the soles of your feet as well, going wherever it needs to go. And more than anything, now just sensing the presence of the golden angel behind you. Beautiful golden wings, encasing you. And lifting the energy around you, taking away any of the darkness, any of the sadness. Literally feeling very much as though the angels are just brushing away anything from your aura, taking anything out of your physical body that is causing you to feel heavy and down, and replacing it with golden, magical light. I hope you sense that, because I can sense that really, really strongly around me. And it feels that it's for me, but it's also very much for you as well. Okay, so I'm now going to go and do some writing, and I think that's enough for today actually. I just really wanted to send you love, strength, and a bit of gold light to really lift these moods that a lot of people are sensing around them at the moment. And just that message from Metatron that we're in uncharted territory energetically. We need to learn how to ride these waves, and we will be given the golden oars to do so, you know. But we have to ask for that, and we have to. The most important thing is we have to be truthful, and we have to be genuine in our responses in terms of how we are. Okay. Send you much love on this 11th of February 2013, and I shall be back soon. Much love. Bye-bye.